Alright, let's do our non-spoiler for Oppenheimer. I'm just gonna start first again. I think this movie is great. I love um just everything about it is great. You know, I like this what's the name? The sound, that's the
The sound
score.
production, yeah,
Yeah,
the
the sound
score.
production, the
On purpose.
score. I love the I mean I'm they use realistic explosions, right? So it's like it's cool to see that when
Mhm.
even the like the tiny stuff when they explode, you see it first, and then there's a delay before you can hear the boom, kind of thing. Like I love small details like that. So that yeah that's great. And then just the whole obviously performance, Cillian Murphy and everyone else is just so damn good. The performance, and then yeah, just following the whole drama is interesting, especially as you know, I don't really know the history of the whole nuclear weapon, so it's honestly pretty interesting. And also, Oppenheimer is just an interesting guy, I guess, right? So yeah, uh, that whole part, I think I loved it. But here's the thing: I'm not the best at watching political movies. Like when they went to the trial part with RDJ character and like yeah in the small room with when they're questioning Oppenheimer, I got so lost on who they're talking about. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm not good at following this kind of movie, so it's like whenever they mention a name, they did this, I'm like, wait, who is this again? You know, many times that happened, but even then overall I still get the gist of like what is happening. Yeah, pretty much that for now at least. Yeah, so let's go Albert again.
You want me to go me first or Arik first?
I'm just follow the
I can go.
same
I can go.
direction.
Yeah, I really like the movie a lot. I think it's incredibly well done. Like you said, echoing you said, the sound production is incredible. I didn't watch it in IMAX. I wish I did. I watched it in Dolby. It's incredible sound production. The score by Ludwig Göransson is really really good. Um, the performance is great. I think Cillian, I don't know how to say his first name. Cillian Murphy, I think is fantastic. I think Robert Downey Jr. is incredible in his role.
Mm,
He might. People are already saying he early Oscar buzz supporting actor for RDJ, and I can see it. I think it's really good. Emily Blunt. I thought she was wasted in the role, but then throughout the progress of the movie, I'm like, I see why they cast Emily Blunt, and I think she's great in the role. Matt Damon was good. The whole cast was really good. For God's sake, this movie had Josh Peck of Drake and Josh and Devin Bostic of Roderick Rules, and they are awesome in this movie, and I love it. Um, yeah, performance is great. The talking about Calvin mentioning just now the delay in the sound of the explosion. Not only was that like the explosion really cool, that sequence where they did the is it called the Trinity test? When they test the atomic bomb.
The Trinity
yeah.
Project.
That's I had literal chills. The hair on my arms were lifting up during the sequence because of how it was done and the fact of once the explosion happened, we know the sound is coming, but it's
Yeah.
not coming. And I was at the edge of my seat. I'm like, when is the sound gonna hit?
I
And when
got
it
jump
hits,
scared.
it was glorious. I was like, oh my goodness, what a scene. Um,
Yeah. Dude,
so
especially in IMAX, I don't know, not just in IMAX. I mean, just the sound in general. It's so loud and everything. Like our seats were vibrating.
yeah, yeah,
You know, our seats were vibrating. That adds to the experience.
yeah. I,
Yeah.
Uh, um, and similarly, like you, Calvin, it's not really of the political stuff. It's more of the, I guess, the time jump because I wasn't really understanding the
Mm,
time jump initially because it
yeah,
takes
that too as
place.
well.
There is a lot of time jumps with the black and white, and like when I see black and white, my first thought is that oh, this
It's in the
is in the
past.
past, but no, this is the
Yeah.
future. So, but there's a lot of time jumps, and I got lost in the narrative between the time jumps. And I kind of want to rewatch it again for that reason because now I know what's going on and maybe I will understand the
Mm,
different time jumps better. But at the same time, it's 3 hours, so like I gotta commit to it, right? Um, but yeah, I didn't feel the length. I think the length really worked. Yeah,
I didn't.
I'll stop for
Yeah.
now. There.
Arik, go ahead.
Right. So if you want to do this film like the most immersive way, yeah, you're gonna have to watch this in IMAX. I'm sorry. It's just that's just way too captivating. I can feel my lungs actually vibrating from all the sound effects. It's not just the nuke,
Yeah.
by the way. It's there's like other
It,
stuff involved because they played a lot in the sound production. Sometimes they like I don't know, like when they put like certain like parts where they make it like extremely dramatic. They have like a lot of background sound effects playing, and like you can actually like feel it in IMAX. So yeah, that's
yeah.
incredible. I think this is exactly what Nolan intended. This is what Nolan intended. You have to watch how he
Yeah.
intends. um there's a lot of people in the cast, so hard to keep up, not gonna lie. Again, but the ones that stand out to me the most, apart from the main characters, would be Matt Damon as the general. I don't even remember his name. General is who?
General Groves,
um
I think that's the name.
is that his name?
Yeah.
General Groves, yeah. So I thought it was
Yeah.
like a very interesting, quite cool character. What else is there? It's so hard to think about.
It's a 3 hours movie.
A lot of
There's a
things
lot to
happen. Yeah,
remember.
all of which
Yeah.
like I should mention like I did actually get lost in most of the parts apart from the character names, trying to remember everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
Again, you know, the
Mm.
time jump was quite confusing. I did figure out that it took place pretty much long before World War II, during World War II, and of course after some. I think like quite a long time, no, quite some time after World War II as well. So it takes a lot. Basically, there's
Oh,
quite a long time span between in the film,
yeah.
and it wasn't very linear as well. They didn't show it like that. They like jump around here, then back to there, mention something, go back again. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite hard, especially like sometimes movies tell you like where it is and then the year or the date, but they didn't do that. They're just like, here's the
Hmm.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And w- I didn't. I knew it was gonna be about the A bomb, right? I didn't
Yeah.
realize how much of the movie is actually discussing the aftermath of the creation, and
Yeah.
that intrigues me a lot because I
Yeah.
know nothing about this, and like the whole thing with RDJ's character is in the aftermath and everything, intermixed with some of the stuff during the war too. But yeah, it's like I was so invested in everything afterwards that part. So yeah.
Yeah, I should mention I didn't expect the film to go down the I don't know what the type is called. Like basically it's like about law and stuff or like about
Mm-hmm.
courtrooms. Yeah, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
What's that called? Yeah, so basically like I didn't expect it to be like a courtroom kind of like deal.
Drama kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Courtroom
courtroom
drama.
drama. Yeah, courtroom drama. Yeah, I didn't expect it to go into that account. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Even though, like, to be honest, my the part that I was mostly intrigued about is, of course, the development of the said atom bomb itself, really. But
Yeah.
you know what?
Right.
But the courtroom thing was like, it was an interesting piece of history that like I didn't know about. And we get to
Mm-hmm.
basically like
Hmm.
have insight to that. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
even though the movie was quite confusing, at least I did, at least in the end, the basis of it, I did
We
understand.
understand the basic. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
we understand
general,
the
like, with the
general
conflict
plot. Yeah,
and how it resolved. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? So that's fine. So long as I didn't completely like leave the theater like what the hell is that all about? So I'm glad I left the theater, at least knowing the basics of it.
Yeah.
I When the film ends, I was literally in my seat, like, whoa.
Wow.
Especially because of that final scene. That
What was the
final
final scene?
Mm,
scene with Oppenheimer and Einstein. Which, by the way, seeing
right, right.
Einstein in
Oh,
a
yeah, yeah,
movie was
yeah.
really weird because I don't think I've ever seen Einstein in a movie ever. But what was I
I
gonna
want
say?
to say something on this. I
Uh-huh.
did not know Einstein was still alive by then. I thought he died
I didn't
already.
either. I didn't either. I don't know my history, man. Um,
Yeah.
but that final scene between him and Einstein, and God, I cannot even say it without spoiling it. But the final scene and the dialogue was it just hits like, oh my God, that is real. And I mean, what the movie does best is it captures both the much need from the scientists, from the physicists, that they are like, okay, we gotta get this done before before it falls to the wrong hands. It's an evil, but it's a necessary evil. But then they realize as well, once we introduce this, there is no stopping this. And like both the it's like the horror that is impacted on that, they deliver that so well.
Yeah. I do say when um I think the part after they announced that, oh, when they heard from the news that, oh, the bomb has dropped on Hiroshima, things like that, right? And
Mhm.
then that the scene was just everyone was celebrating, all the scientists and stuff. And in my
Yeah.
head, I'm like, oh right, they don't know how big the casualties and the impact is, right? So they were celebrating like that. I don't know, man. I'm like, I feel some type of
See,
way, like, oh.
I think what's smart is in that scene is that you saw some scientists celebrating, but then a lot of them automatically
Mm,
felt sick. A lot of the
yeah.
military people were celebrating. A lot of like the casuals were celebrating, but like a lot of the physicists, they automatically realized what they've done, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
just the different um, dynamic
Like,
in there.
yeah, yeah.
You know, it
All right.
was clear because like they always like focused on Oppenheimer. You can see him clearly not feeling well, but then the background is all like, "Woohoo, we
Yeah,
Yeah,
did
everyone's
it!" Yeah,
celebrating. Yeah.
yeah. So
But
I
and
like
then
that. It's
even
quite
even then,
grim.
like when Oppenheimer still has to give the speech is like, he's
oh my
he's
god,
hiding his emotion well. Yeah.
that part is so good with the whole
Hmm.
sound design where everyone is
Yeah,
stomping their feet. I didn't realize what that sound was in the trailer because it sounds in the trailer. But the sound of stomping their feet, the sound design, the fact that you're just focused on Oppenheimer's face, but the background is shaking and blurring, and that also
Hmm.
happens in the courtroom at one point. That technique is so effective. It's incredible.
Yeah. There's so much to like about Oppenheimer. I
Mhm.
mean, the movie,
Again,
not
my
the movie.
my
Yeah.
only issue was those time jump that I sort of got lost
Mm,
at parts.
I
Um,
agree.
but yeah,
Yeah.
otherwise it's such a good freaking film, man.
Yeah. 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 I really like the what he read from the Sanskrit thing. Was it? I am become death, the destroyer of world. I think that's such a
yeah.
good
I
what's
mean,
it
that was
name?
just like his most famous quote. I didn't know it came
Yeah,
from a
basically.
Sanskrit. Yeah, I didn't know it came from a
Yeah.
Sanskrit writing. So that was interesting
Mm,
piece of history there.
yeah,
Yeah. I like
and
that
again,
line so much, especially coming from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and again, like I don't know, I didn't know he had ties, sort of ties with like communism and everything like that, which I found very
Yeah.
interesting as well. So yeah,
And
but
also
yeah,
he
again,
got that quantum riz. He's a
huh?
He
playboy.
asked women out by telling them quantum
But-
physics.
yeah. That's how he got Emily Blunt.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Florence Pugh.
And Florence Pugh actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So quantum riz.
Yeah. Uh,
Anything else then for this?
yeah. Again, last thing I will say, shout out. I think Jack Quaid was fantastic from the guy from The Boys. I thought
Oh yeah, he was there.
Benny Safdie, who I didn't realize it was him until the video. I was like, I know this face, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Benny Safdie, the scientist who wanted to develop the H bomb. I thought he was good.
Oh,
Um,
that's who. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, one of the Safdie brothers. I thought he was good. And the other one that I want to shout out was, who was it? I want to shout out. Oh, the actor who played Albert Einstein, I thought was really great. And
Mm-hmm.
You.
every every single scene with Einstein in it is so awesome. I don't know what about it.
All right, ratings, I guess. If there's nothing else to add. Uh,
Currently, I have it at 4.5, but I might bump
okay.
it up to a 5.
Right now I have it at a 5. After I get home, I didn't think about it. I really liked it. Give it a 5. Yeah. Ariq?
I think I'd give it like a 4.5 because, like, like I said,
Yeah.
what's holding it back is like this is definitely not my type of film. It's the biography and all that. There's still some
I
things and
mean,
I get confused by easily. I'm not saying like the film is terrible. Oh, hell no, it's brilliant,
Mhm.
objectively brilliant, and I love seeing the nuclear fire in a real life nuclear fire, not a CGI nuclear fire. So that was cool.
That
But yeah, still.
Trinity test thing was so good,
It's
man. I
it's
can't.
it's
It's
really good.
that is a spectacle. I expected to
Yeah.
die at the theater. I thought the sound was gonna be so
Uh,
devastating that I'll just
but
like bleed from my ear.